way too close. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 Minecraft Bedrock Edition add-ons. Now, for the very first add-on we're going to be looking at today, it is just a resource pack, so you can use it in any world and still have achievements. The very first one is Glimmering Armor Trims. Armor trims that glow in the dark. Pretty self-explanatory, and this add-on was created by Needy Llama 01 and a team of other add-on creators. Now, I have gone ahead and set up a little bit of a preview world for us to take a look at all of these different packs today. Now, the first one is the glowing armor trim. So I've gone ahead and set up a few armor trims here. We're going to do /time sets night. Now, these look better if we do midnight, because it's even darker outside. Ignore that. But as you can see, these things do glow. Now, personally, I really love the way these look. I think the diamond looks phenomenal. If we go ahead and equip this, you can see they do still glow. They don't actually emit a light source on the ground or anything, but if another player, one of your friends, looks at you, or you're in third person, the armor trims look like they're emitting light, even though they're not really, and they have this really cool effect to them. Now, this is very similar to the effects of the glow squid. See how it looks like it's glowing, even though it's not emitting any lights? If you remember back when the glow squid was being added, that was actually one of the main complaints people had about it. But that very same mechanic that's used in that, and Drowns, and the Enderman Eyes, is pretty much how the add-on creators here made this pack work. Now, of course, you can put these on all and any types of armor. I wouldn't recommend doing the netherite trimming, though, because this is diamond armor with a netherite trim on it. And as you can see, even on my body, it just kind of looks like dirt. No fault to the creator himself, just it's netherite, it's a black, look. The color isn't really a glowy kind of thing, but as long as you don't use the netherite one, they all look phenomenal. Now, there are 2 more things. First of all, of course, this does apply to every armor trim in the game. This isn't just the silence armor trims. I just use the silence armor trims because I mainly like the way they look. But as you can see, we're going to go ahead and put together a suit of just all random armor trims. Equip that, and as you can see, they quite clearly do still glow. Now, the only mention here that I think we should talk about is there is currently a issue with them working on leather armor. Currently, the leather armor ones just don't glow properly. The creator is aware of these, and he is working to fix this. It's just an unfortunate bug, but I'm sure if you check in on the page every now and then, you will notice an update probably within the next month or so. Now, for the second add-on, we are once again back on the Minecraft homepage because it isn't a actual add-on, I guess if you will. It's more of just a texture pack, but it is still a very good one, and I highly recommend using it. If we just go ahead and find it, this add-on, or resource pack, completely recreates all mob animations in the game. This one is made by Raboy13. Very, very well made pack, I will admit. I use this plenty of times in most of my videos. I really love it. Now, there are 2 options. So if you click on this little gear, you can have the default resolution, which is all custom animations that he made by himself. If we go ahead and take a look at the villagers, you can see they have more of this, as you can see, just clearly animated style. When they run, they actually lower their arms and run. It looks really cool. The horses have really nice little stepping animations. All the mobs blink. Now, of course, this doesn't change every single mob in the game. Like, slimes aren't affected, stuff like that. Most fish, I don't think, are affected. If we go ahead and grab a Ravager, As you can see, he's got much more of this wide stance on him. His feet are a bit angled. You can clearly see distinctive steps on him and like breathing. Looks very cool. I think the Iron Golem has changed. If we go ahead and take a look at the Iron Golem. Oh yeah, look at that. Very nice looks and animations to him. Just all around, most of the mobs are changed. I don't believe the bosses are changed. The Ender Dragon and the Wither aren't actually affected. The Warden is very much so affected. We go ahead and grab a Warden out. Very, very different animations. Looks very nice. Let's get out some Iron Golems to beat him up, though. Jeez, he beat a lot of those. But yeah, overall the mobs just look really nice. Good upgrades. Now, if we were to get out a zombie kind of thing, zombified piglins, I don't remember if they're changed. Zombies, I know for sure are. They have this very unique walk to them. The piglins don't appear to be changed. And I do know that spiders, just a quick warning, they have a very nice animation. They are a beautifully upgraded mob, but a little creepy. I will say, they look incredibly terrifying, but they look so good at the same time. Anyways, that is the Better Animations pack by Rabboy13. Of course, just like the Glimmering Armor trims, if you are interested, the links are in the description for all the add-ons that we take a look at today. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. Now, this next one is a bit of a 2-in-1. This is Better Foliage by Fusebolt, and this is a texture pack that aims to make the foliage in Minecraft a bit more diverse, less repetitive, and just overall looks so much more beautiful and natural. Now, this is a pack that you can use as just a texture pack, like this one right here, but if we read a little bit more, you can see it also comes with a behavior pack that you can use with it for a few more features. Having the behavior pack allows for the addition of extra blocks and features. For instance, with the behavior pack, you can have apples growing on trees. There's multiple different falling leaves, which I think are only in the behavior pack. I know for a fact that there's a lot of stuff. It's been on the world the whole time. So as you notice, with these flowers, there's like little bouquets of these cornflowers, but there's still the occasional single one. Looking at trees, there are multiple options for the trees. As you can see, these leaves are a bit more bushy, but if we go back to our global resources, hitting this little gear, we can change them to be round. Like these, they have more of a rounded shape to them. They do look a little weird when on the tree, however. You can also set them to have just the default normal Minecraft leaves. However, I prefer to have the bushy leaves. I think they look the most interesting and just really enhance the game overall. Now, the whole flower thing, this affects any and every flower in the game. If you can find a flower, you can find it in a bundle. Now, this doesn't apply to the two tall flowers. You cannot find those in a bundle, but you can find them with changed heights. For instance, here is a full-scale normal rosebush, and here's one that spawned a little bit shorter. Now, this is still the exact same block, but just depending on where you place it, it's going to change the height. For instance, this block will always have a shortened one. Meanwhile, this block will always have a tall one, no matter how many times you break and replace it. This block also will appear to have a short one, while this one appears to have a tall one. So it's not fully dependent on, it's not a different block or item. It's just dependent on where you place it in your world. Same applies to the bundles of flowers. Also, height does affect this, so it's like off the coordinates. So if this is the bundle here, if you go down by a block, now it's a single. Everything is just completely random, but dependent on the coordinates and location that that item is placed, if that makes any sense. I will note that the cherry blossom trees have not been adjusted by this pack. I do not know if the creator plans to make a change and update the cherry blossom trees into this pack or not, but if you are wondering, cherry blossom trees are not affected by this add-on at all. Every single time. It's always raining. I don't understand. Just let me make my video. Now, what I have noticed, this is a very weird bug with this pack, but no matter what kind of tree it is, there's an oak, there's a spruce, we can get out a dark oak. I'm assuming it affects the dark oaks too. Here is a dark oak tree. For some odd reason, no matter what kind of tree it is, if spawned inside of a snowy biome, it has red leaves. And even if you just take some leaf blocks and you place it in here, they turn red. But if we were to go ahead and drop down here, they will be nice and green. I don't understand what it is. I have actually seen this happen before because I use this on my own time. I really like this pack. And I thought it might have been linked to top snow because every time I saw it, it had a leaf with top snow on top of it. But if you're in a normal biome and you put top snow on the leaf, it's just a leaf with top snow on it. Meanwhile, up here, even if you remove the top snow, the leaves are still red. So I think it just has something to do with the biome filter and whatever colors are affected, like the color map. However, that add-on stuff sort of works, but if you do live in a snowy biome, you might not want to use this pack. It is a little bit broken. However, overall, I do really love this pack, and I think it makes the world look so much better. Also, it does affect the vegetation and plant life underwater. On the seafloor, we can see some variations of sea grass. We get little reeds. And if we go up to the surface, where it's a bit more of a one block tall area, you will end up with either tall pieces of seagrass just like sticking out of the water, or these reeds where you have the brown ends sticking out of the water. And I really think it looks nice. It enhances the game. It also affects lily pads. There are now more variations of lily pads. Here we have a medium size and small one with a flower. Here's a big one with a pink flower. Different variations of pink flowers. Just all different types of lily pads, so much more variation just to make your game look so much more natural and different. And I really think it adds to the whole Minecraft environment. And if you pair this along with the Radboy 13 Better Mob Animation Pack, I think overall your game is just going to be looking magnificent and just oh so beautiful. Next up is a pack called Dynamic Lighting. This pack is made by a creator going by the name of Ryan. On the MC Pedal page, it is Lord Ryan, so whatever you want to call him. But he is the creator of this amazing pack. I know Java has used mods and stuff like this for a long time, and it's so nice to see a really good made one for Bedrock. So let's set the time to midnight, because just like the armor trims, it will look best here. Now, dynamic lighting is a series of lights, or it's items that light up in your hand, pretty much is the easy way to say this. So if we go ahead and grab all of these items, as you can see, they light up around me. Now these are all the items that will emit full power light, so the lighting of a torch. And just to show you, this isn't just me standing on a torch. If I remove the item from my hand, the light effect goes away. Oh, as a touch to the better animations, you saw the villager like doing that weird T-posed run. That's a really funny part. But anyway, these will all emit light when holding them in your hand. Even the beacon. Now it does say the nether star is supposed to emit light, but the nether star item itself doesn't actually properly work. Now these items all emit the same amount of light as a torch would if it were placed on the ground, so a full 15 light in each direction. But there's 6 items: the soul lantern, the soul campfire, sea pickles, glowing sack, and glow item frames. And these all emit a little bit less light, as if it was a soul torch or soul. You know, one of these soul items that emit less light. Even sea pickles, when placed underwater, they emit light, but you know, not as much. And again, showing that this works, if I remove my hand, these items still continue. If I remove my hand, the light goes away. If I hold it, it comes back. It's a really nice, well-made pack. And it also comes with the addition of a small upgrade. So here is the Jack-o'-lantern. As you see, it emits a lot of light, and you cannot put it on your head. If I go ahead and get a Jack-o'-lantern helmet, which you can now make, you can go ahead and, as you can see, it doesn't actually emit any light in my hand, but if I equip it, now I have a source of light always following me around, and I don't even have to be holding an item because this helmet on my head is now emitting light everywhere I go. I think this is a really fun idea, and it's very different to anything I've ever seen before. Now, this pack also allows you to go ahead and put torches inside of your offhand now. Because, as you know, the offhand on Bedrock Edition is not very functional at all. This creator has managed to make it so you can put torches inside of your offhand. I do not believe you can put anything else in your offhand. Like, if we go ahead and grab a lantern real quick. Yeah, that doesn't work. But you can put torches and soul torches in your offhand. I believe you can do a redstone torch as well if we just go ahead and grab one real quick. No, you cannot. I lied. But yeah, you can go ahead and put torches, soul torches inside of your offhand. Really nice feature. I love how this works. I think it's a really fun add-on, and if you like enhancing your survival Minecraft gameplay, I would highly recommend this. It's a small add-on, but it just enhances the game so much. Alright everybody, so we have made it to the last and arguably the most interesting add-on of all of these. So this is an add-on called Dynamic Third Person Camera, created by Kamise. Now, this requires these two other add-ons layered on top of it. If you read the whole MC Pedal page when you're interested in downloading this, it shows you, it provides links to access these two other packs along with it. These are required to make it work properly. Now, this pack does require the activation of two experimental features if you are interested. I have just got them all on because I usually just play like that. But this requires the activation of beta APIs and experimental cameras if you are interested in using this pack. Now, when we go ahead and log in, you're going to notice some very different and interesting things happening with the camera. This is a dynamic third-person camera, as the name suggests. So it's kind of like a movie, almost. It makes your whole game kind of look like a movie in the way that it follows you around. So we're going to go ahead and set it to day. And as you can see, the way I run around, it follows me around almost like I'm in a movie. If I'm just running on the ground normally, this is what it looks like. And if I go underground, I then get put into first person for traveling underground. But the second I go back up, it puts me back into this like epic movie shot mode. I think if you're trying to make a very interesting sort of video and angle, Minecraft movie perhaps even, if you pair this add-on along with something like the dynamic lighting, the better foliage, and the whole better mob animations, you'll have a very interesting experience. If we just set it to midnight, you can see here with the torch in my hands paired with this sort of movie-like thing. It looks really cool. It's very interesting. I'll give it that. Now, when you're cocking a bow, you get this very different, interesting sort of angle, as you can see here. The movement is a little bit finicky. Similar thing with loading a crossbow. When you crouch, you get this like overhead sort of look. But if you uncrouch, it goes back to your shoulder. But when you crouch, if you're not holding a bow, that is, when you crouch, it gives you this overhead look. If you're holding a bow, it doesn't really do much of anything. And another thing that's very interesting is when you hold the bow, it like zooms in as you pull it back until you release. I will say aiming is a little weird with it like this, just because you're not in that first person point of view, so it's a bit harder to aim where you're going. You have to aim slightly to the side of the mob, depending on what shoulder you're looking over. Now, if you are interested in changing the settings for this, if you do /function config, it pulls up this menu. This is what the other two add-ons are needed for. And when you pull this up, you can choose by how much you want your camera offset. You can change, well, you have to scroll up first, okay? Because it spawns you at the bottom of the menu for some odd reason. You can change the scope perspective, so crosshair type, you can change pretty much everything. Aim mode, I think if we set that to first person, we can see some interesting things. Target stabilizer, I think we'd leave that on. Vertical smooth speed. You can just change pretty much everything there is. Now, dynamic first person, I'm wondering what happens if I change that. So this is, I assume, the dynamic first person, and I did change it, so when you're loading a weapon or bow and arrow, crossbow, you're in that first person, and it does seem to follow you a bit lower. This is the camera offset. As you saw, we made it negative, so it falls a bit more on the ground, while if we went ahead and made it positive, wherever that is, we're now following above the player a bit more. It's just, there's all kinds of things you can mess with. If we do, let's turn both of those on, why not? Let's put this back to 0. I'm not really a fan of that offset. Main, hand, item, first person. So I think this just means that if you put an item in your hand, you're going to be in first person, which honestly could be pretty good. Scope perspective, I think, is definitely better in first person. Pretty much, there's just all kinds of ways you can fiddle around with this and see what it is that you like. This way, if I have something in my hand... Oh no, that doesn't put me in the first person. Well, then I'm not sure what that setting changed. I know the crossbow puts you in first person. I really want to see what it's like riding a horse, because I know it said the riding distance is different, and I'm really curious what it would look like with armor too, actually. Let's grab iron. We can grab a saddle, because it has its own, custom riding distance and setup, and I think that riding a horse could look really cool in this. One of the better looking parts of it, I think. But we just gotta go ahead and tame up this horse first, which is definitely weird to do. Okay, no, it still doesn't like me. Alright, there we go. Horse is finally tamed. We can put our stuff on it. And I think, yeah, when riding, this is very interesting. As you can see, the horse animation is a very interesting, gallop. That is because of the Better Animations pack. Actually, the horse is my favorite changed mob from that pack. I think it just looks so cool, the whole gallop. I'm curious what this would look like if we were, say, pulling back a bow while riding the horse and in the scope perspective aim mode. That is a really cool look. And as you pull back on the bow, it gets closer and closer until you shoot. This is a really cool look. I think this pack is very interesting, but it is a bit difficult to get used to. Like I said, if you're trying to make a very intricate and interesting movie with lots of fun angles, this is a definitely really fun and interesting way of doing it. And I think if you put all 5 of these packs together, you could have a really unique and fun experience with Minecraft. But if I had to recommend just one of these 5 packs, I would probably recommend the Better Mob animations above any of the others. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please consider hitting a like and subscribing down below. And of course, if you're interested in any of these 5 add-ons / texture packs, they are all linked down below to their webpage. Anyways, this has been Mr. Gaming Aquatic, and I'll see you next time. Peace!